Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the 3D Critic channel. I'm David, your host, and today I'm going to give you guys my performance review on the Anta Kai 1 Speed. The regular Kai 1s were a very good shoe from top to bottom. Traction felt really good and grippy. The cushioning felt responsive, lively, bouncy, and very comfortable on top of it. Materials were very nice and comfortable and very artistic, along with the support and lockdown to boot, which was really good. And I noticed that they made a speed version, so it's like a V2 version of the regular shoe, like how Way of Way does with their shoes. So I was curious to see if the speed version was a little bit faster than the Kai ones. And now that I played in them, here's what I think. Firstly, when it came to trying them on, they're pretty straightforward. Getting in and out of the shoe, it was very easy once you break it in. However, initially the laces were pretty tight, so you have to open up the laces a little bit just to get your foot inside the shoe, which was a little bit uncomfortable at first, but once you break it in, it's pretty much straightforward getting in and out of the shoe. As far as sizing goes, I went true to size, and the fit is a little roomy when it comes to the footbed, in my opinion. The width of the shoe is good, but there is some maneuverability from time to time, especially when you break it in. And the same goes for the length. They do run a little long, so that might be an issue for some people when it comes to sizing. So to get a nice one-to-one fit, in my opinion, I would go down half a size to basically get the best fit. Narrow footers should probably do the same, maybe go down a full size if you have a very narrow foot. However, for wide footers, you should be good to go going true to size. And as far as retail goes, it is the same price as the regular Kai ones. They go for $125 on Anta's website, as well as on Foot Locker and Dick's Sporting Goods. So if you guys are interested, I will leave the links to each website in the description box below. Now, for the traction, the shoe features this full-length gum rubber outsole with this herringbone multi-directional traction pattern that you get throughout the shoe. And when it came to grip, they were very tacky on court, especially on a clean court, because the grooves themselves are very pliable, so it's going to be really grabby on court. So as a result, lateral movements are very sudden and shifty. When you're going side to side, you're able to be really quick and shifty going from side to side. That way you're going to create space and be a good primary defender as well. For vertical movements, the hard stops are very good. However, there is a little bit of give to it, to the point where you do experience a little bit of sliding. But once you warm up the rubber, it is a very strong bite and you're able to stop on a dime. And the same goes for push-ups. You're going to get a quick first step because of the pliability of the rubber itself. You're able to get basically a nice launch on your first step, so you're going to be really quick on your first step. Moving into dusty courts, they are good. I had to wipe them a little bit every now and then, but I didn't have to wipe them off that much when it came down to it. Initially, I did have to break it in so that it can get through that dusting phase, to say the least. In terms of picking up dust, it doesn't pick up a lot of dust. When it does pick up dust, it does affect the performance a little bit, to where you do slide every now and then. So as long as you keep up with your wipes, you're good to go, and they're very easy to wipe off, except for the Kyrie logo in the back. It does tend to stick a little bit, so that is a little bit of an issue every now and then, but I didn't have that much of an issue when playing in it. And durability wise, they are very durable. The only signs of wear that I've noticed are in the high wear areas. You get the micro gridding on the grooves themselves all around the shoe, and it only balled out the gridding on the grooves a little bit. So in terms of outdoor use, you should be fine playing in these outdoors. Just be mindful of that, because of the rubber being very pliable, it might wear off, but in terms of the tackiness that you get on the rubber itself, you should be fine playing in these outdoors. So indoors, outdoors, you should be fine as long as you keep up with your wipes. You're going to have very tacky grip basically the moment you put them on, and it was very nice to play in. And it took a while to get used to because of the overall pliability that you get from the rubber itself. But at the end of the day, it is a very good traction setup. When it comes to the cushioning setup, it is exactly the same as the regular Kai ones, where you get a full-length N2 foam, which is basically a nitrogen-infused foam. And when it came to forefoot cushioning, it performs exactly the same as the Kai ones, where you get a insanely responsive feel under your foot. Felt very twitchy, very lively under my foot, and I was very speedy, as the name implies, the Kai 1 Speed. And they are very bouncy too, with a top-loaded TPU shank that you get in the midfoot. It gave me a very nice launch off of the ground, so it is as bouncy as the Kai 1s in my opinion, in terms of how I felt under my foot. And moving into the heel, they are very comfortable and very soft as well. When it comes to the overall compression, it felt like I was sinking into a pillow, and it was very comfortable nonetheless. And as far as impact protection goes, it is solid too when it came to heel strikes. However, on really hard impacts, I did notice the cushion bottom out a little bit. And when it was like repetitive heel strikes. So as long as you're doing like basic heel strikes, just one heel strike at a time, you should be fine. However, if it's like repetitive, you will start to feel the cushion bottoming out in a little bit, but nonetheless, it is very comfortable in the heel. And as far as fluidity goes, it feels very buttery. The heel to toe transitions felt extremely smooth, especially with the rocker effect that you get in the back. It makes the overall heel to toe transition be really smooth, and because of the shank, it gives you a nice snappy feel too, so you're going to be able to get up to speed very quickly, and moving up and down the court felt effortless when I was playing in these, and felt very fast too with the overall like responsive feel that you get and the bounce that you get. So it is a very lively shoe, a very speedy shoe when it comes to the cushioning setup, and I really liked it overall in my opinion. And on top of it, it is very comfortable, just like in the regular Kai ones. Now diving into the materials, you are getting really nice engineered mesh material in the forefoot, lateral, and medial side of the shoe, with some textile leather that you get along the shoe line, and it extends into the heel with some mesh padding that you get on the back. And for the tongue itself, it is made up of mesh material, and you get this very nice pillowy padding that you get on the tongue, and it extends into the heel area where you get these Achilles pillows. And in terms of comfort, they are very comfortable, and it gets better the further back you get into the shoe, as I described it. In the beginning, however, the forefoot did need some time to break in because they were a little bendy, and it did dig into my foot a little bit. However, once you break it in, it is very flexible with the mesh material that you get, and I didn't experience any pinching once I broke it in. And as you move into the midfoot, the padding that you get on the tongue is super abundant and comfy, so you won't experience any pinching along the lace line, which is integrated with the materials themselves. And as you move back, the padding in the back is really nice and abundant, and it molds to the back of my foot really well, like it's hugging the back of my foot, and it's overall a comfortable feel, and it gets better the further you get back into the shoe. Aesthetically, they are very comfortable, to say the least, with the diamond patterns that you get, with a bunch of colors that you get throughout the diamond pattern itself, spread throughout the forefoot, lateral, and medial side. And you're going to get some nice detailing on the leather in the back, with some more Kyrie patches that you get on the back with the Anta logo, and you're going to get some more aesthetic looks from the Kyrie logo that you get on the top of the tongue, and you're going to get some sprinkles of hieroglyphics along the lace line patch that you get right here, as well as on the rubber that you get on the lateral side of the shoe. So yeah, comfort wise, they're very comfortable. Just be mindful that you need to break in the forefoot material, and aesthetically, it is a very colorful and very aesthetically pleasing shoe. A little too much on the colorful side, but it is pretty nice nonetheless. In terms of lockdown, to me, they are pretty solid. However, they could be better if I ordered the right size because of the roominess that I got in the forefoot. As a result of the roominess, it does promote my foot moving around in the footbed, especially when I'm doing lateral movements. I did notice my foot shifting and the material giving out a little bit when I was doing lateral cuts. Vertical movements, I didn't feel it that much, but it is noticeable every now and then. So if you get the right size, you should be really good when it comes to overall containment, especially in the forefoot. Midfoot lockdown is very good. You do get these cables that you get in the beginning of the lacing system, and the rest of the shoe is integrated with the materials themselves, and it wraps up all the way up and basically into the ankle area. And it essentially wraps the midfoot very well, and it basically hugs the ankle area, especially on the top, very well, so you aren't going to experience any movement in terms of the midfoot. In the heel, there is a little bit of heel slippage at the beginning because of the abundance of padding that you get in the back that you need to break in and mold, so that it reduces the heel slippage. Once you do, it reduces the heel slippage significantly to a point where you don't notice it that much, most of the time rather. If you try and notice it, you will experience a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. So at the end of the day, the lockdown is solid, but it could be better if you get the right size, especially in the forefoot. Midfoot cabling system is really nice, and the padding that you get is abundant. And as you mold it, it will reduce the heel slippage significantly, and it's going to give you a overall solid feel when it comes to lockdown. And last but not least, when it came down to the support, I found them to be very supportive, especially when it comes to the lateral counters that you get throughout the lateral side of the shoe. The fuse overlays that you get in the forefoot basically gives the mesh material some rigidity. That way, when you're doing lateral movements, it won't flare out that much. And it is aided with this TPU plate that you get, as well as the rubber that extends up into the material a little bit to create a nice containing feel when it comes to lateral side-to-side movement. I did notice at times where the movement The laterally does shift the material a little bit. However, the counters that you get with the rubber and the TPU plate contained it very well. That way I didn't roll my ankle, especially. You don't get an outrigger, but the midsole does bulge outward. That way you won't experience any instability when you're doing lateral cuts. And as you extend into the midfoot, the plate extends, as well as some rubber that you get in the back that wraps up into the material a little bit. That way you have this double dose of protection in the midfoot with the rubber as well as the TPU plate that you get. And it continues on into the heel with the little rubber piece that you get in the back that gives the midsole a little rigidity. That way it doesn't roll on you, especially in the heel. And you also get an internal TPU heel counter that contains the heel very well so that you won't experience any instability, especially in the back half of the shoe. In terms of torsional support, it is very good. The top-loaded shank that you get is very nice and rigid, so you're going to have stability where you need it and some flexibility in the forefoot. And you also get this clip on the medial side of the shoe that gives it an extra stable platform under you, so you're going to have really nice balance inside and outside of the shoe. And the base itself is nice, flat, and wide, so you're going to have a really self-assured feel under your foot with the outsole that you get, which is very flat and it is very wide, so you're going to have a nice wide platform to land on. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's a very supportive shoe when it comes to lateral counters. Torsional support is very nice and rigid and flexible where it needs to be, and the base itself is nice and wide and very flat under you as well. So to sum it up for you guys, this is definitely a speedier version of the Kai 1 in my opinion when it comes to the cushioning setup. In my opinion, the responsiveness that I felt in this is slightly better than the regular Kai 1s. However, when it comes to bounce, liveliness, and the overall comfort that you get in the back is pretty much the same. The heel cushioning might be a little bit of a downgrade because of the caging that you get from the midsole itself, where the bottoming out kind of occurs and it does like bottom out a little bit, aside from the regular Kai 1s where I didn't experience that feeling. So yeah, it is a faster shoe nonetheless when it comes to the cushioning setup, and the traction setup that you get does provide a little bit more grab under you. That way you're going to have a very faster reflex when it comes to being very quick under your first step. So yeah, it's very streamlined as well when it comes to the overall low cut that you get, whereas in the regular Kai 1s it is mid top. So if you want a speedier version of the Kai 1, the Kai 1 speed is a very solid option, but the Kai 1, the regular version, is a very good shoe nonetheless. If you want a faster version, go with the Kai 1 speed. If you want a more rounded shoe when it comes to the Kai 1 line, just go with the regular Kai 1s. So if you want to be the fastest person on the court and you like rocking the Kairis, get the Kai 1 speed. Thank you guys for watching this video. This has been my performance review on the Anta Kai 1 speeds. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and comment down below on what you think of the Kai 1 speeds. Are they faster than the Kai 1, or which one you prefer? I'd like to know your thoughts if you want the Kai 1 or the Kai 1 speed. I would like to know your thoughts on that, as well as any other questions that you might have. If you'd like to stay up to date with future videos that I'll be posting, hit the subscribe button down below. It will greatly support the channel as well. And if you want to see what I'm talking about the regular Kai 1s, I will leave that review on this side of the screen. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, all of that information will be in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this was beneficial to you guys. And until next time, keep shooting.